Hi there. Let's take a look at another key aspect of marketing and distribution, which is online retailing. Now, for many of us, online retailing has become just part and parcel, if you excuse the pun, of everyday life. We're used to it, but it wasn't always so. Online retailing has been a method of distribution that has grown significantly in recent years and is now a very significant part of doing business for many businesses. So let's take a look at what we mean by online retailing. I think the key thing is to keep it simple. It's often synonymous with terms like e-commerce. Really, it's the same thing, which is online retailing, a form of commerce. But here, what happens is that businesses and or consumers buy goods and services from anywhere using web-based technology, whether it be on their smartphone, their laptop, or whatever. Also, don't forget that online retailing is part of these concepts called distribution channels, the means by which producers get their goods and services into the hands of customers and consumers. And therefore, think of online retailing as just another business process where customers are searching for and then select based around the information that's available, increasingly available in great detail, and make their decisions around what products and services they want to buy, except that they do it remotely over the web, over the internet. Well, online retailing has come a long way. When the A-level business specifications were set, the current specifications back in 2014, 2015, online retailing was around about 10-12% of retail sales in the UK. Since then, it's very significantly grown, as you can see from the chart there, so that by 2021, and this is we're recording this in 2022, but this is the Office of National Statistics, said that £129 billion worth of transactions were recorded using online retailing in the UK. And you can see the significant increase over the number of years. And of course, in 2020, we had the impact of the pandemic and lockdowns, which further shifted the amount of goods and services bought using online retailing. To some extent now, we're starting to see the maturity of online retailing as one of the distribution channels. So as you can see from the chart here, we're currently 2022. This is forecast data. 2021 is actual, but it's around about 38% of all transactions in the retail sector in the UK are now done online. But that's not forecast to increase significantly. It looks like online retailing has now matured as a method of distribution. One of the things you need to be able to consider and perhaps respond in questions is consider the relative advantages and drawbacks of online retailing for both customers and also for businesses. So I've listed 2 or 3 on this chart, this slide and the next slide, and it might well be that you want to add a few more of your thoughts in your notes. In terms of advantages, well, there are many, aren't there? Huge positives around online retailing for customers. All of a sudden now we've got much greater and quicker availability and depth of information about products. We're able to price compare a lot easier. We're able to find more more sellers a lot easier. A choice of sellers. It's not always Amazon, often is. And of course, businesses increasingly looking to make online retailing as seamless and easy and pain-free as possible. So as a shopping experience for most products and services, most goods and services, online retailing is pretty sophisticated these days from the customer point of view. And clearly lots of advantages for businesses, particularly small businesses. All of a sudden, online retailing opens up a domestic and international market for their goods and services, and it's possible to reach them and customers, for example, in niche market segments, relatively easily using, for example, online marketing, online advertising. And overall, online retailing should result in lower fixed costs compared with the alternative, which might be operating physical or what are called bricks and mortar stores. Generally, the fixed costs of operating online retailing are lower than physical stores. However, there are still some significant costs, particularly if the business is e-commerce or online retailing only and decides to invest in the full support process, including warehousing, for example, logistics. Well, disadvantages, actually that says advantages, but this should say disadvantages for customers. Clearly, one of the issues with online retailing is data privacy, personal security. So the increased incidence of cybercrime is a major concern. And it's an inevitable feature, I guess, of that increase in online retailing. And the whole process of returning unwanted, unsuitable products. In some sectors, it's a big issue for both consumers as well as businesses, but not always the easiest thing to do. And as I mentioned, for businesses, one of the downsides of online retailing is that high level of product returns, particularly in the fashion industry. I mean, we're talking a very high percentage of orders that get returned. And also, of course, one of the issues for businesses is that online retailing makes markets more competitive. So more startups, more online retailers only, it makes it very difficult, in particular, for retail businesses to compete through differentiation, and inevitably they end up having to compete purely on price in many segments. Just a quick word on one more concept which also features in business specifications, which you may come across, a concept called omnichannel retailing. Now, you don't need to be an expert in this, but just a quick minute on what this is. And you may well have experienced omnichannel retailing in your own personal shopping experience. The idea here is that each customer is on a journey to buy a product or service. However, where they choose to research and transact that product or service can be in different places. So you might start by looking for something on your laptop, maybe researching it a little bit more to check availability on your smartphone, and then maybe even go into the physical store to see the product or pick it up. And that's the concept of omni-channel retailing. It's to try to connect all the different touch points and parts of the process that a customer might use so that they are effectively on the same journey, that your information follows you through the e-commerce journey. So that's what we mean by omni-channel retailing. There we go. It's a bit of a rush, that one, but a quick overview of some of the key features of online retailing.